Sometimes the world really feels like it's set up against having that connection and having that time with people in the workforce, in the legal system. It seems like a lot of things are kind of made to like keep you isolated, keep you distanced. And so this class itself, and also just like the general restorative justice concept has shown me that doesn't have to be the case.
It's a new perspective, right? You don't have to yell at somebody, you don't have to wrestle them, you don't have to do anything crazy about this, and it's a new approach to be able to approach a problem.
In our traditional approach to justice, we consider accountability as taking the punishment. Whereas in restorative justice, accountability is actually cleaning up your mess. It's healing the harm.
I used the restorative justice and community circle to help with my roommates. We had a lot of problems like cleanliness in the apartment.
For my project, I focused on the scope of my sorority itself. I'm in Alpha Omicron Pi. And we just talked about the negative stigmas behind the ranking system and how that affects self-worth.
It's kind of a nice way to have everybody sit down and really talk about their problems and broach the issue. And yeah, that's how I kind of used it. And it went by really well.
There's so much more thought that goes into it than maybe people realize at the start. It's not, you don't just like put down some chairs and call it a day. You really think out that centerpiece. You really think out that talking piece. Even the opener that you decide can really make or break how your circle goes.
We talked about what the problem was and then like how every single person viewed the problem.
Once we have identified where the harm is, then we ask the magic question, which is how do we make it right? Or how do we heal the harm? And that is where the people who are most directly affected come up with the answers.
Coming into this class, I was a little hesitant about how restorative would work, especially restorative practices amongst the actual criminal system.
A lot of what I've been looking at in my lab is structural inequities in the legal system, and I think something that's really special about restorative justice is that it's aiming to be more of an equalizer instead of that power imbalance when you have, the judge and the jury sit up top and then you have everybody else at the bottom. I think it's nice to have that equalizing factor.
We're not just punishing them and then ruining their lives. We're actually making them whole again instead of shattering them. And that's what I think about this class, is that you don't need to break people down.
And when you get that paradigm shift, if you will, if you can go from expecting someone else to punish somebody to thinking about how can we heal this situation? What needs to happen? And who needs to do that work? We find it's so empowering.